big UFC debut. How did it go compared to your expectations? Did you see the fight playing out that way, or was it a little different?
Yeah, it was a lot tougher than I thought, but going up in weighted class, that I kind of expected that grind, that, carrying a heavier body around and taking those bigger shots and stuff like that. But I mean, it went the way I wanted to. I got my hand raised. I feel I won every round, and yeah, that's the way we kind of planned it.
Yeah, how did you handle the change of opponents pretty close up to the fight and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it is what it is. Like, there's not much you can do. Like, we trained for a specific opponent, especially Josh being, a bit shorter. That kind of wrestler with a shorter, kind of more explosive guy, where this guy becomes a really experienced Muay Thai fighter who's my height, but, just a bigger human, being 55er, But the training was done. All the work was done. We just looked at some footage and saw some tendencies that he does with his striking. There's a lot of footage on him. So, yeah, we just kept the pressure on him, keep him on his back foot the whole time. No, I didn't take a step back, just pressure on him the whole time and make him break and fade, and that's it, yeah.
Were you nervous at all?
Yeah, I mean, but I've main evented a lot of Vancouver shows, so that kind of helped build that, especially being the very first fight of the night. I knew it was going to be majority of my crowd, but there was a lot more people there than I expected, right? Like, it was pretty loud in there, which is cool. I just kind of built that up in my head anyways, so I was ready for it when they came, and yeah, it was good.
Assume the plan is to go back to 45 now.
Yeah, I hope so, man. It's like, I don't know what the UFC has in store, but I mean, I'm a 45er. Like, that's my weight class. I woke up on weight. I just starved myself for a little bit, and I woke up yesterday at 55. So, I mean, that's to be at the highest level and be given this disadvantage of size just doesn't make sense to me. I'm young. Eventually, I'll be a 55er, but right now, I'm a 45er. That's what I am. So, I think that's the plan. Just go down. I was watching a lot of these 45ers fight once I got signed, and it's like, that's my division, man. Like, looking at those guys, I can compete with any of them. So I want that chance to prove it. I'm glad I got to come in at 55, win at 55, and drop down. And that's the plan.
What has this week been like for you, man? Obviously you got friends, family, everyone's here, everyone's hyped, and has it been a whirlwind for you? Because this is a dream come true, right?
Yeah, it was cool getting, a hotel. I think that was much needed, even though I was like 30 minutes away driving, but just kept me away from everything, kept me in the same building, my mind away from, the hometown thing, and the fight week, the UFC fight week, they underplay it for new fighters. That's huge, man. Like, usually I'm sleeping in my bed and show up just for weigh-ins, but this time, like, they have you busy Tuesday on, so you're thinking about the fight and photo shoots, video shoots, interviews, everything like that all week, So it was good, but kept my mind off the fight and ready to go.
You touched on it a little bit, just sort of having that crowd support. How much did you hear the JBC chants and the Jeremy chants in the crowd, and how much did that motivate you in positions against events and whatnot?
Yeah, I think that, like, again, goes back to my Battlefield thing. Like, if you've been to any of my Battlefield fights, it's JBC chants the whole time during my fight. So I was used to that, and I liked it. I was glad that the UFC got to see, that kind of crowd Vancouver has and how much, the Vancouver backs their guys, So hopefully they keep coming back to Vancouver because, that's the thing, it's popular here and it's a good market to tap into, and I'm glad to hopefully be that face.
I know you said you thought you won every round, but it seemed like his most successful aspect of the fight was probably the knees and the clinch.
Yeah.
Did those hurt you at any point?
I mean, in the first round, I think he caught me with either an elbow or a knee, something on this side, and that started drawing the blood. I mean, that was the only thing, and just because I wasn't really warmed up or anything, that it kind of like, oh yeah, you're in a fight, So after that, like, not much hurt. I mean, he was putting his knees in, but nothing really hurt at all.
Are you one of those fighters that needs that? Maybe just needs to get
Yeah.
good and you kind of wake up?
I was kind of like,
you're in a fight?
yeah, all day I was thinking like, man, I just want to be in that fight and, getting punched in the face and punching him in the face already. Like, all this waiting around is just, that's the worst part about this whole thing, like, fight day is just worse than the actual fight. So I was just like, just get me in there, let him punch me a bit, and let's get going.
A little weird to fight at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, man, I was
started at that time as opposed to headlining Battlefield shows.
Yeah, it was throwing me off a bit, like, mainly just the 24 hours after the weigh-ins, it was like, I got to go to bed early rather than staying up late, and then because I wake up, I don't want to be groggy. Like, I got up at about 7:30, 8 to this morning, 8, loosened up, and then it's like, oh, well, I'm fighting in a couple hours now, so it's good though. Now I get to, relax, watch the show, watch Damian Maia and Carlos Condit, and, relax with my coaches and just chill out.
Speaking of your coaches, you had Bibiano with you.
Yeah.
How much does that help when you're going to a big fight like this for yourself? Because
Awesome,
he's been
man.
there, done that.
Yeah, I got the best crowd of my best team, best corner. Sean's been with me since day one, first day stepping into a gym. He knows me so well that he knows my nerves, he knows my tendencies. He's an awesome training partner all camp. He's fighting the way Josh was fighting, and then the moment we got Alex, he was switching his stance up, switching his style to fight like Alex. And Bibiano, he speaks for himself. He's just, if I can roll with Bibiano on the ground and get some rounds in with him, nobody else is gonna give me that kind of problem. And then I got my striking coach Dan, who I've been hitting pads with for about 2 years now. So he knows me really well. We got a really good, like that TJ Dwayne kind of chemistry going. So that helps as well. I just every aspect I've covered pretty good. So I'm happy to have that corner.
Are you going to stay here and train here, or are you going to go off to some other camps?
I got no reason to leave. I got like I said, I got Bibby with me, Jamie Siraj, who's Battlefield bantamweight champ. We got Craig McLean, Sean, who's going to be getting ready for fights. We got a big group of guys here. I might take a trip down to Denver or a little trip to Thailand for months here on then, but I'm going to be home based in Vancouver. There's no need to leave. Everything is here.
What do you think comes next for you after this? Obviously, UFC is doing a card in Toronto in December. Do you want on that? Do you want to fight, explore the world a bit?
Yeah, I mean,
international. What do you think? And I know you said you're going back to featherweight. Is
yeah.
that one that you have an eye on down there?
Yeah, I mean, December is a good timeline to be fighting again, and Canada's where ideally I would like to fight, but I want to go anywhere. If that Australia show, I'm pretty sure it's in December as well, or anywhere in the Europe or anything. I want to make sure it's at 45. And there's guys not to really call anybody out, but Artem, those guys are kind of holding up spots in that division. That's why I'm not allowed or not signed as a featherweight, is because there's not enough room there, right? But you got guys like him, let's fight and see who can hang in the featherweight division, and then I'll fight him for that spot, So I want to be at 145.
Why do you mention Artem?
Just I watched his fight with Chris Avila. Just that was the most recent thing. There's lots of guys. I think I match up great with guys like Alex Caceres and Yair Rodriguez, all that whole from the 15 down or even up. If you want to throw me in with them, I'm sure I'll contend. But I'm young. I'm 23. I think I could be competing with all those guys at 45. There should be no reason why I'm giving up a 10-pound disadvantage when I don't have to. I mentioned Artem just because he fought last weekend, so I just had that stuck in my head. Those are those guys that I should be fighting.
Being a local guy, how did it feel to put on those UFC gloves for the first time?
Surreal, man. It's I was trying to build myself up to it. This is the UFC now, but it wasn't real until I got in the cage. And even the canvas is a little different than everywhere else. Holy crap, I'm in the UFC now. So it's cool.
How do you put that out of your mind, though, making your UFC debut, and it's a totally different world, but yet you've got a fight to focus on?
Like my corner was saying, this is like any other fight. You're defending your Battlefield belt, just a bigger cage, more lights, but don't even think about those lights. It's just another human against the cage. That's just a little bit bigger of a cage. UFC's cage is a little bit bigger, but other than that, why psych yourself out and think about the crowd or anything? I'm fighting another guy that's just like anybody else. I'm skilled. I'm better than him, I feel, and you should feel that way and just go out there and perform.
What does the tattoos mean on your rib cage?
Every win. I put so much time and effort into a camp and winning that I want to, I keep that with me forever. When I want to be, 50, 60 and just littered with, marks, and just who cares at that age? I just want to, that's my, that was my career. That was my life. Such a huge part of my life. These wins, going through these camps and grinding it out and, support myself off of it.
What do you think about the active situation Canadian fighters inside of UFC? I say that because Rory McDonald went through Bellator.
Yeah.
Joseph Pierre, nobody
Yeah,
knew
they're
about his return. So I want to.
They're suffering for some talent there. I mean, we've got some guys. Chad Laprise, he's a good guy. They got Oliver Aubin Mercier and stuff like that, who are great guys. I think you drop me down to featherweight and I can be that star. I can be that face of Canada.